This morning I was reflecting on some donations that I received in the last couple of days. I had posted on Facebook and Instagram about my current circumstances, and as well solicited to sell my introductory type reading. It's a recorded reading that I usually do for 55 for 30 minutes, but I was going to do it for 45. And by reading, I mean I use intuitive messaging, channeled messaging, if you want to call it that, psychic channeled messaging. And I also read from tarot decks and oracle decks. And anyway, so I had posted that I was trying to sell, 11 readings in the next few days, basically to get the money that I need together for the first of the month bills. And without going off into all of my circumstances on this podcast recording, I will just say that I did sell 2 readings as a result of that post that was yesterday. And I also received 3 donations. And what I want to emphasize is the fact that all 3 of those donations came from people who do not align with my belief system. They wouldn't purchase readings because 2 of them are of the Christian faith, and the other one I believe is either agnostic or atheist. But be that as it may, they believe in me. They believe in me. They believe in me. And there's such a healing that comes through for me from that. Because, for one thing, I walked away from 20 years or more, really. I mean, if I count from childhood, it was more than 30 years of being a practicing Christian mystic minister. I was in the Pentecostal movement. I was in the old tent revivals. I attended a lot of those types of meetings, the evangelistic crusades, the big, well-known faith healers. I was connected to the faith healing movement. I was connected to the prophetic movement, is what we called it, which is the Christian term for psychic. And I walked away from all of that. I deconstructed from that starting in around the age of 37. So that would have been 2011, because I turned 40 in 2014. Anyway, and so these 3 women came through. The full need is not met. I still do need to sell 9 more readings if I'm doing the the $45 one to meet the need for this month. But it just really, was so healing and so beautiful that they are able to set aside the differences that we have and just see me as a mom, a single mom, dealing with chronic illness, dealing with chronic pain, raising neurodivergent children, being the only caregiver, not just the primary caregiver, the solo caregiver. And I'm a solo caregiver, and I'm also in the, fledgling phases of being a solopreneur, and as well as a budding content creator. So I'm reading today from an article that I am repurposing from a blog that I did a couple years ago. And the name of this article is Pagans, Witches, and Queers. Oh my. Pagans, heathens, witches, warlocks, hemlock, sacred trees, rituals, nature worship, animism, astrology, tarot, oracle cards, tea leaves, mysterious beings, aliens, star seeds, interdimensional travel, telepathy, psychics, ESP, palm readers, the New Age movement, fortune tellers, bones, wands, crystals, earth conscious, divine consciousness, indigenous spiritual practices. Before the Abrahamic faiths, before the current prominence of world religions, that dominate the lives, culture, politics, and power systems of all the major players on the global scene, there were pagans. Paganism comes from the Latin word paganus, which literally means country dweller. Those that live on the land, those that live from the land, those that are connected to the land, earth dwellers, all things related to earth, including spirituality, can be considered pagan. It is only since about the 4th century, when Christianity became a dominant world power, you thought it was just about the gospel of Jesus, right? That the term paganism or pagan became the main word used to describe those that hadn't seen the light. The keepers of all things sacred became the messengers of darkness because they didn't embrace the teachings of any of the Abrahamic religions. On September 28 of 2023, I was a desperately ill woman. I had managed to achieve just a tiny bit of intermittent stability, but for the most part, I was battling illness in every facet of my mind and body. After 9 months of what I now have come to believe is long COVID, the symptoms took over and I felt like death was imminent. Daily panic attacks, bouts of anxiety that were far worse than anything I had ever encountered, dizzy spills, constantly feeling severely lightheaded and faint, neurological issues, heart palpitations, arrhythmias, bradycardia, which is a slow heartbeat. All the tests were coming back normal. And I was so far from normal, it wasn't remotely funny. I went to see a dear friend, colleague, and energy healer. She performed traditional massage techniques, led me through somatic therapy, breath work, engaged with me on an intuitive level, and cleared my chakras, energy body using Reiki technique. I wept with gratitude. I laughed because my physical, mental, and emotional states came into balance as they were infused with light. She shuffled her oracle deck and gave me a beautiful message of hope from the kingdom of animal spirits. I received tremendous help and support from someone I wouldn't have even spoken to 15 years prior. The next morning, September 29, was the 2-year anniversary of John's death and my parents' 3rd wedding anniversary since my dad passed. I was preparing for my first astro party, the public debut of offering services as a spiritual guide and healer, and I was still very, very much dealing with my illness. As I flipped through TikTok, I came across a sound healer that was playing the hand pan, which is a steel drum. I laid down on my bed and I let the sound wash over me. I began to weep and laugh at the same time. Later on, I learned that this woman is a licensed therapist, a polyamory practitioner, a queer, a self-identified pagan, and more specifically, a witch. It was some of the most beautiful, profound, healing energy I have ever encountered on this planet. Shortly after I attended her online Samhain ritual, she played the handpan for 6 hours and opened up the space for us to share the names of our deceased loved ones. Whew. It's getting me, guys. Getting me in the heart space. We spent time honoring them, weeping, laughing, and exchanging loving, supportive energy with each other. It was magical, spiritual, filled with light and life and good stuff. A person that would have been condemned to hell and even to death once upon a time by the religions I used to practice. Became a beautiful conduit of mercy and support to me, because she is no longer they, she is we. I've gone through a similar transformation in the past 15 years regarding my beliefs and relationships to those in the LGBTQ plus community. We may not share the same feelings about sex and sexuality, but that's only because we differ in biochemistry. I have friends and relatives that identify as such, and we laugh and cry together the same as we always have. Love is love. Spirituality is spirituality. Humans are humans, and they aren't the only intelligent species in the universe. Love your neighbor as yourself. Even when they don't love like you, even when they don't believe like you, even when they don't look like you, even if they aren't the same as you on any level. This is the soul's true path to evolution. I dedicate this to Madam Handpan is what she went by on TikTok. And to Rebecca Tesfaye, who is a local practitioner here, who was so inspirational to me, and also to the 3 women who know who they are, who donated to my home and have helped me in the past in difficult times as well. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for loving me